Hello everybody and welcome to yet another tutorial. My name is David Lillian. I run the account World Football Artwork on Instagram. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a slightly different style of edit than I did the last time, and this one has been very requested by you guys. You guys have loved it when I posted it, so I'm going to show you today how I make these. So start once again by opening up Photoshop. The software once again will be Photoshop and Topaz Labs. I mentioned stuff about Photoshop, mostly Topaz Labs, in my previous video. If you guys want to check out my first tutorial, you can check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So we're going to start by getting, once again, a high quality picture here. On that tag, we've got gray. It's going to be Ronaldo here, and this is a pretty widescreen shot. It's a HQ shot, but we're going to post it on Instagram eventually, so we got to crop it to a square. As you can see, the radius, I made that mistake in the first video, and I made it again in the second one. The ratio is set to 1:1, which is a square. So you center that, and we're going to want Ronaldo pretty much in the center here. So when you're ready, click enter. And first thing we got to do is we got to skin this picture. So we're going to go back into Topaz Labs and start off with denoise. And the first step is, it's not the greatest quality picture, but it's still very good. So we're going to go with moderate and 0.20 and click OK. Alright, so now that that is loaded up, we're going to go back here to Photoshop, and we go to Adjust, back onto Dynamic Pop, and press Apply. And go down, adjust for preset list, and we're going to get to psychedelic, finishing touches, transparency, and 0.75 it is. And click OK, because we are now done in Topaz Adjust. Alright, so we have that part done. Now we got to get on to the next part of the skin, which is going to be clean. This is really important in skins where I think if the players are moving and you can kind of see the whole picture. You can kind of see their feet and their arms and their legs and everything. So I think that Topaz Clean is really important in that. So the strength is a little bit high on this. We're going to take that down to 1. So the strength here is 1. The threshold is 0. The accent is 4. The radius is 2.3. The sharpness is 0.28. The texture is 0. The boost is 0.25, or as low as it can go. And then the size is the same as it's been. So that is our skin for this picture. It looks pretty nice, and I like it. So once again, we have to make a duplicate copy of this background layer. So we're going to press Command J, and we got to mask this top layer. So we're going to head over to the Quick Selection tool and just click around, and it's going to pretty naturally go around the player. As you can see, we have this. So just pull this back here. And once again, I do apologize. You guys will have to watch me do this process because I can only do these in one take now. So if I make mistakes, I apologize. If I ramble on, I apologize. Yeah, so it's going to be one take. And the reason why I'm really making this tutorial for you guys is because I'm actually going to be going away for 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks actually, as this video is being filmed. So this is right now, it is June 23rd, 2015. So if you guys are watching this video anytime 3 weeks after that, I will probably be back. But 3 weeks from tomorrow, I'll be gone. So I'll be back 3 weeks from 3 weeks after today. So that was confusing enough for you guys, and I'm sorry for that. But you know, I've got things to do. So sorry, there's going to be no more tutorials or edits for about 3 weeks. I'm trying to stock up today and make a lot so I can continue to post while I'm away. But we'll have to see how that goes. So we are almost done with this picture. I think we just got to get in here with his arm. And now you got to notice, even when you think something may have been already, fine and not been taken out, this one has been taken out of this part of his hand. So you just got to pull this back here with the minus. Remember to make sure you're not using the plus here if you're pulling things back. Minus is to restore parts that you've masked out, and plus is to add things that you masked out. Also, we want to make sure that we get the ball in there. The ball, I think, is very important. You want to make it pop, but you definitely want to get around the side. So the way that I would do this perfectly is to get a pixel size about as large as the ball and just line it up with the edges, because then it makes it very easy to click around and to mask the ball, because we're going to put an effect around the ball a little bit later, and I think it's going to really make it pop and complete the edit. So to cut it, you can go up. I pressed Command X last time, but I'm just going to show you guys a different way. Edit and cut. And to check to make sure you get what you got, here you go. Take off the visibility of that background layer. And as you can see, we did make a little bit of a mistake here. If you're super picky like I am, you can see the mistake on his ankle. So that's no problem. We can just go back here into the quick selection, press Command Z, which is, I believe it's on all computers, which that is the undo button. So mask that back in, Command X again, and we're right back to where we were. As you can see, we have our PNG of our player, which is previously cut out, is what the PNG is. So we're going to head over to Image, Adjustments, and Black and White. Last time I used Maximum Black, and I think that's what we're going to do again. It definitely makes the player pop. Now, this is the part that everybody's seeming to want to know, and it is how I get the smoke around the player. Well, the smoke is a Photoshop brush, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So, as we go over to the brush, you're going to want this set to white, and let's find the smoke brush. I just got a brand new brush pack, which looks really, really nice, and it's so many brushes down here. So the smoke brush is going to be near the top, and it is 410 pixels, I think. 430, excuse me. So 430, and this is a pretty HQ picture. It has a lot of pixels, so we're going to increase the pixel size to 1400, and just click around. Simple as that. Just click around the picture. I try to leave a little bit more at the bottom, just because you do want to see a little bit of the field. Sometimes you can actually leave some of the saturation in the field, but I feel like it wouldn't work out as well for this one specifically if I did that, just because there's other players in the background. But we just keep clicking, and what I usually like to do is I create another layer. So as you can see, that layer is in between these two, but if you create another empty layer over the top of the player, you can actually add some smoke on him, or around him, and on top of him, to give that look. So now, really just a couple more steps. We're going to take I call it a debris brush. We're going to create another empty layer here between the player and our smoke. And actually, you know what? Switch that. We're going to get this under the smoke. And there's going to be some debris flying around in this design here. So let's go and find our flying debris. I think this is going to look pretty nice. And let's see, it's up here. They're about 2,000 pixels in size, so we have a whole bunch of them. And once again, if you guys want the links to these brushes, I would definitely DM me on Instagram. I'd be happy to give you the link. So switch the color to black, and let's see. Now you might not be able to see it at first, but if you click a little bit, just click on around, eventually you're able to see some debris popping up in the background. And if you want to bring that out a little bit more, you can actually put that as the layer above, but I don't usually like to do that. Let's stick with that below the smoke. And if you need to, you can just make the smoke a little bit less thick. So take down the opacity of the smoke, and there you can see the debris. If you want to space out the debris, of course, you can switch up the brush, change the size to whatever you like. All about creativity. Let's get some bigger pieces here. And that's actually on top of the smoke. Don't want that. We want to make sure we're on the correct spot. And back to the brush. Sorry, I'm making a lot of mistakes today with this. So we have a lot of debris flying around, and that looks pretty nice, but we want to make sure it's moving. We got to give a sense of motion in the picture. So we're going to take the debris, filter, go to blur, and we're going to motion blur it. And 28 is a little bit too much. Let's go to 15. That looks nice, but we also got to blur the background. So let's do, again, motion blur. And we're going to set that to 15 as well, so they sync up pretty nicely. And I believe we have just one more step to go, and then we're going to be finished with this design here. So go back, create one more empty layer here above everything, and it is going to be white brush, and just the regular standard soft brush, the first one that pops up. And let's just set that to 5,000. That may be a bit much, so you know what, Yeah, let's change that. Let's go 4,000 for this. And if you zoom out a lot and you set it to white and you make sure you're on the brush, you can get some really nice light coming in from the corner. There are rays of light brushes, but some of those I feel give a little bit sort of unrealistic sense of light. So that looks like a little bit too much. So let's just take that down a notch. And there you have it. That's it. You know, you can always add something if you want. Like for example here, create another empty layer. Quickly, boom, select the color. That looks somewhat like red. Okay. You want to take down the saturation because I think the whole point of these is they're not very much saturated. Go over to the paint bucket tool and get to soft light. And bam, now it's slightly red in the background. So, you know, you guys can do whatever you want with this. You can create more or less light. You could do a sort of a fade of the smoke. You can make it more black down at the bottom. You can use gradient maps if you guys know what that is. You could add motion to the player. And ooh, I almost forgot we're going to put our effect around the ball. Let's give it a little bit of light. Let's give it a nice yellow light. So, sorry about that. So back to yellow. And it doesn't matter about this little thing because it's just one little effect we're adding. And it is going to be, I believe, right around, or you know what, let's just go with the rays of the light brushes. Once again, if you guys DM me, I will tell you the link to these brushes. Any of these brushes that I've used in my videos. Let's see, 777, a little bit too much. How about, I'm not going to use the devil number, so 665. Alright, that's a little bit too much, a little bit more than I was liking. Let's see how 600 looks. That looks okay. Alright, so I like that. And just got to watermark it. So we'll put our name here, or my name. At World. Let's see. Oh, sorry, the font size is a little bit too much. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the font here. You want to make sure, if you're doing a lot of font, the text box is going to need to be big if you have a big font size. So if you have a littler font size here, let's go 48. Font size, or the font color, excuse me, we're going to make that black. And type the watermark at World Football Artwork. And change the font to whatever. I would normally, once again, do this on my phone, but just because I don't want to have to put a part of the phone video in here, it's very hard to edit in, so let's just stick with this. Good little watermark up there, and it looks good. It's a little bit low on the layer list, so if you really wanted it to pop, you could send it up to the top. That rhymed. I was a poet and I didn't know it, but let's blend that in a little bit. So that looks nice. Alright, so there you have it. That's how I do my smoke effects, my smoke designs. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you guys have any more questions, you can DM me on Instagram, you can email me, you can drop in the comments requests, you can drop in the comments questions. I'd be happy to help you guys out. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure to leave a like. Go follow my Instagram, World Football Artwork. Link will be in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright, thank you for watching.